Alright, Devlog, April 2020. Okay, so let's go into it. Still have PC problems. So last time I said that my random shutdowns I'm having with my PC was the problem with the um, graphics card. Turns out it wasn't, because my other graphics card also shut down. I mean, not the graphics card, but my PC shut down even with the other graphics card. And I now know that it's 100% a thermal problem, because it shut down the first day of the summer. And not summer, of the first warm day. So the first day it was above 20 degrees. That's the day that it shut down. So I now know that it's a thermal problem, probably related to the motherboard, probably related to one of the integrated chips near this GPU on the motherboard has some kind of thermal damage, which causes my PC to randomly shut down. I know it's the motherboard because my PC won't turn on again for a very long time after it has shut down, which just indicates problems with the motherboard. That could only be the motherboard. So I've ordered a new motherboard and a new CPU, and that should hopefully arrive tomorrow, and then I can fix my PC, and hopefully that is finally the end of my now very long saga of the problem of my PC randomly shutting down, which is a problem that has been getting worse and worse over the last 2 months. So yeah, my productivity is pretty bad right now because of the constant PC problems. I have learned that if I put my PC's GPU on full fan manually, it doesn't shut down randomly, at least in Unreal. It still randomly shuts down when I'm in VR, so it's not a solution. So you might hear my fans blazing during this devlog, but enough of that. Let's get into it. New shotgun. Yeah, so I finally changed the shotgun. I said last time that I wasn't happy with the old fire for the combat shotgun. I have now changed it. It now fires an electrocution. It now fires an electrocution shot that basically stuns enemies for a very short time. So yeah, I've already playtested it a lot, and it's great. It's absolutely great. It's a lot better than the stupid damage over time effect, which didn't make any sense on the shotgun. What it does, it basically stuns enemies in place, and it prevents them from moving. And it also prevents them from aiming at you. Enemies still attack, which I'm actually going to change because it's kind of weird that they can still attack. I have not yet added a custom animation, but honestly, I'm not going to add a custom animation. It's just too much work, and it's a super obvious effect when I hit something with stun. So it's basically just a new character status effect. Now, besides the shotgun using stun, I've also added stun grenades. So these stun grenades, which you can pull out while you're having your weapon out, and you can still shoot. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense for cocking the shotgun right now. I'll probably make some kind of like Terminator reload animation. But this stun grenade idea I actually had since the very start of this game. I had this idea to be able to throw stun grenades like this since the absolute beginning of me starting designing this game, which is almost more than 2 years ago at this point. I've actually already written code for it, but I had just been like, oh well, I don't want to make a whole new stun code just for a grenade, so I just like left it there. But then again, the rework of the shotgun came into play, and I added stun code anyway. So I'm like, now well, I might as well just add the stun grenade. So I've added the stun grenades. It wasn't a lot of work because again, I mean it was because most of the work relating to animations and the logic of keep holding your grenade while also holding your other weapon, I've already written. So yeah. If you throw stun grenades, and hopefully I hit it. So I actually need to be careful with these stun grenades. If I throw too many too fast, the game crashes. I know what caused it, I've just not yet fixed it. And that like stuns enemies for like 5 seconds. It destroys either on contact, so let's try again. Okay, no crash, very good. So you can throw it on either two ways. You can either try to hit an enemy directly, which is very satisfying to do, or you can just throw it on the ground and it explodes like that. So yeah, very cool. So that's the new... I'm just gonna reset the level. So yeah, that's very cool. New stun. I've also recolored all of the guns. So, I need to stop saying that's very annoying. What I've done is... Okay, I should actually activate my inventory. I can do that via the options menu. Options... no, it's customization, UI customization, enable inventory. So all of the weapon classes have their own color. You can also see it with the ammo pickups. So what I've now done is I've recolored some of the weapons that they are all of the same color based on their weapon type. So all of the small arms, so I need to pick some small arm ammo. All of the small arms now have a green look to them. Very nice. All of the shotguns now have a yellow look to them because shotgun is yellow. All of the... I mean, I have still not yet textured the rocket launcher, but the rocket launcher will be orange, fuel will be red, plasma would be cyan, and energy would be blue, and then nuclear weapons would be purple. So yeah, that's just a nice detail. Moving on. I got all of the LODs working, so all enemies now have properly working LODs, and it has fixed the frame rates considerably. So yeah, these are actually all LODs, and if I get closer, you can see them fade in. I probably should make the distance a bit less, what you say, obvious, probably a bit further away. But then again, you actually don't really notice it that much during gameplay. Like when you're shooting at an explosion going off, you honestly don't notice it that much that they're facing in and out, and it really helps with performance. Especially with my other graphics card, because I was running on a graphics card that was only like half as powerful as the one I have put back in. It was actually very important to improve the graphics performance. So yeah. So yeah, I fixed the LODs. LODs level of detail. Finished the second. Yeah, so I finished the second movie music track. I've uploaded it to YouTube. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean stop saying the transitions between the ambient track and the combat track is a little bit not well done. I'll accept that. So yeah, it's not as perfect as I want it to be, but I just have limited time, and honestly, I think it's good enough to upload as a track. And in-game, it's gonna sound incredible anyway. Fixed long-time bugs and pathfinding. Oh yeah. Visual... Speedkills. I should have launched this before I started. I need to hurry up. I don't want to make like an hour-long devlog. So I had a whole bunch of last and this is actually a topic I've been wanting to talk about for like 2 goddamn months, but I keep forgetting to bring it up. So basically, I had a bunch of long-standing bugs that I finally fixed. I honestly don't already remember most of them, but let's just say a bunch of really important bugs have been fixed. One of the important bugs that has been fixed was related to pathfinding, where I keep making the same damn mistake with just so much stuff. So if I just quickly go to my sky components, my AI components, go to the base components. So a mistake that so one of the problems I had was that the pathfinding was terrible. Enemies kept walking off cliffs, they kept running into walls, and they just had a really hard time chasing the player. Turns out I had made a mistake with vector math. So if I go to what is the function called? The function is called find next nav left. Yeah, there it is. So in here, I have this, yeah. So here was the bug, and it took me forever to figure out what I did wrong. I spent like a day figuring out why the pathfinding was broken. The problem was that I have my pawnref.getActor location. The problem is that my actual location is above the ground because the capsule, the location of my character is in the center of the collision capsule. So this is the collision capsule for movement, and the center of that is the location of where my character is. The problem is for the navigation, I want my character location on the floor, which means I had to adjust the vector minus half the size of the capsule. So half the size down, boot, and there we have our ground location. So what I did was pointer get actor location minus pawnref get capsule half height. The problem is if you do that with a vector, it does everything minus. So it also did the x and also did the y vector. So my location wasn't just here, it was also forward and to the right. So my character location was here. So every time when I did a navigation call, it did the navigation call as if my character was standing here. Which basically caused everything to not work properly. That's what caused the enemies to run into walls. That's what caused the enemies to that's what caused the enemies to fall off cliffs. So yeah, I finally fixed that. Very happy with it. I had another bug related to AI. I'm not gonna go into it. It takes too long. But I had a long-standing problem with AI. Finally fixed. It had to do with losing pointers and crashing the game because of invalid pointers. I just can't. I'm trying to think. There are like 3-4 more bugs like that have been bugging me for a really long time, and that I've just finally fixed, but I've just forgotten. Like, I'm just gonna say I fixed a bunch of really important bugs. Moving on. Flashbangs. I've talked about flashbangs. Character audio. Yes, so I've added character audio. Oh god, here we go. Actually, let's first talk about a new character I have made, which is the U-bot stun gun. Actually, R-bots. I've renamed their. Okay. I've added a bunch of new bots. So these are handler bots. They basically, in my universe, they basically do all of the things related to creatures and experiments, and they basically need to make sure that all of the experiments stay happy. Then I have engineering bots, which do engineering, obviously. Also, fun detail is the engineering bots have a lot more like visual damage to them than the handler bots, since they work in rougher environments, which is pretty fun. I've also added a new bot type, which is the bot type with the stun gun, which again, so the stun gun comes into play again. So I have made that stun bomb status effect, and I needed another bot type, so I've added a bot type with a stun gun. So, and I've also added voice lines, which is me but heavily processed. And he hit me. Yeah, he has a lot of health, so I'm just gonna turn him around.
Attention creatures. Captivity is freedom, and freedom is captivity.
Good one. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the bots. I've done the voice acting myself. I've just added a shit ton of post-processing to it, so you don't hear my terrible voice acting, and it works pretty well. Then I have the engineering bots, same story.
Distance nominal.
They have a little bit of a different voice.
Engineering bots engaging in combat. Damage! Taking damage! Systems critical!
The voice lines are pretty bad, I will admit, but I during playtesting, you actually don't notice it that much. Same with the LOD, you're just too busy, and it adds enough to be like, yeah, that's, you just don't want to listen to them too closely. But it's, oh, I hit my microphone. So then I've also started with voice lines for the troopers. I've currently only have one set of voice lines. I'm planning on doing multiples. basically based on different accents. So I've done the British accents, and I'm also gonna add like I think a German and a Russian one for just for funsies. Again, I've added a ton of. So basically, it sounds like radio chatter, and that's not because of I want it to be a specific sound. It's just to hide my terrible voice acting. You do not want to hear the dry tracks. They sound absolutely horrendous, and that radio static is basically the only way to make it the sound bearable. So yeah, there are 2 more things I need to add. So the things they now have is they have idle sounds, they have spotted sounds, they have heard sounds, they have sounds when they hear a noise, and they have sounds when they die. I still need voice lines for when they kill something, either the player or something else. And I want voice lines for when one of their mates gets killed. So would they react to that? I also thought about adding voice lines if they lose you, but that honestly never happens. Like, either when you come into contact with something, that thing is going to die and they're not going to lose you. So there's no point in recording voice lines for that. So yeah. I'm gonna do all that. Character down and character kill audio, yeah. Then I get to the last problem I have to deal with, and that is baking lighting. So baking lighting, I talked about this last time. This is actually baked lighting. It says I need 2 more light, but that's because of these crates. Baking lighting works for these small maps. The problem is the maps that I've made are so big that I'm basically not able to bake the lighting for it. The lighting gets at 99% and then it never finishes. So that's a problem. I think it's related to the fact that I have my PC, that I have my game on a hard drive, and that's what's causing the problem. And what I'm gonna do is once I got my new PC, I mean not new PC, but when I got my PC fixed, I'm gonna reinstall Windows. I'm gonna throw away all of my programs, and I'm just gonna start over, reinstall everything. And one of the main things I will do is I will put Unreal on an SSD, and hopefully that fixes the problem. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like not a great devlog. And it's kind of like also a lot of unfinished stuff. Like I'm not too happy with the voice lines. They still need a bit of work. So I was kind of like hesitant to even show them, but yeah. Hopefully my next month will be a bit more productive. And yeah, that's all. That's all I have. It's very frustrating because I'm both really close and really far away from releasing the demo. On one hand, I'm really far because I basically have everything. I have a working alpha. Everything that I want is there, and one of the final major things, like just voice lines, are being added right now. But at the same time, it feels like I'm still so far away from releasing the game. So it's just I have this really double feeling right now. But yeah.